I just knew I was really capable of helping my boyfriend Malcolm. He had this idea to bring back the 50s. And so I just knew I could help him, and I started to help him. And what happened is that we were interested in rebellion. And I just thought, we don't need these leaders, and then we invented the idea of anarchy, and because we don't need these people who are ruining the world. It's not just since I grew up I changed my mind, but I can come to that in a minute. We looked at motives of rebellion from our own lifetime, and just in the end came up with punk. Anyway, and when I changed my mind, it was not just because I got older, because I wasn't that much older when the Sex Pistols collapsed, Sid Vicious died. And at that point I didn't know whether to carry on with fashion. But I realised that I had made a very, very big impact in the world already, even though I wasn't rich or anything from it. And so I think one of the reasons was ambition, why I wanted to carry on. Because I wanted people to know that all those ideas out on the Paris catwalks were in my shop before that, or our shop as it was. And that was one thing, but it was also because I knew I was good at it, and I thought I kind of had a duty to do that. Because I came from the north of England. When I came to London, I just felt I was little Dolly Daydream. I didn't know what was going on in the world. I needed to know what was going on because I knew something was terrible, and I got very political and tried to start understanding these things. But I also thought I will find out about the world as well by can a business that's not backed by big business, just me, through talent, can you become a success through talent? Can you do that? That was interesting for me to do that, and I wanted to sort of prove it. And I felt I had a duty to carry on somehow. And so it's not because I was a Puritan or anything, but I had this, I just felt that I ought to do that, else I would be stupid. So I did that, and what is the next bit? I don't know, but I definitely changed my point of view. That's what I want to say. That when punk finished, I realised that, being, spitting and jumping around wasn't enough. It wasn't enough of a rebellion. That what you needed was ideas. That you needed ideas because ideas are subversive. And so that's why I was interested in the historical thing. I just thought, let's get off this island. Let's just now collect all the history of the world as much as we can. What's going on in the third world, put it all together and approach fashion through became a fashion designer, and I'm going to do it through history. And that's when I started, and it was the kind of idea. I'll tell you what really made me sort of understand that as well is I've got a manager, Carlo De Mario, who's Italian, and he wanted, he said to me, he wasn't my manager at the time, he wanted to do a PR company in Italy for me. And he said to me, because I was like a bit of a crusader about fashion and trying to do things, because you'd feel very heroic in those punk clothes, I tell you. But and he said to me, look, you think that your fashion's somehow political, and you're wrong, because he was a big fan of old cars. He got these old cars he was always mending and everything, and he said, he said, it's like a car going 100 miles an hour. This is the establishment. The establishment is a car going 100 miles an hour. You can throw rocks at it. You can try and stop it. It will go faster with your energy. And so I understood absolutely. And then he said to me, what you need to do is go 200 miles an hour. You know, so I just thought, I'm not going to try kicking this wall down anymore about what's wrong and terrible things, torture and all these things. I am caring about that, but I want to know what to put in its place, and I want ideas. And this is at the same time that I met Gary as well. And he directed my reading, and I would not be the same person if I hadn't met him. And the first thing he did was to send me to the Wallace collection, and because he was a big fan of that 18th century, as Ian said. And also, the first exhibition we really went to was one of 17th century Dutch art. And that's where I would tell any person who's interested in understanding the story of art, because every painting is a vision of the world that somebody saw, you know. And so it's like direct experience, you don't need words. Anyway, and I would tell anybody to start in the 17th century. If you start later than that, you just end up with birthday cards and stuff. You know, you need to start there, I think, and you can go backwards and forwards from that point to understand the human genius. Yeah? Thank you. Thank you.